Fresh embarrassment, they call it. Yeah, MSNBC's ratings are so apocalyptically bad. I don't actually know how these networks survive the next 5 or so years. Now, of course, we talk about this quite a bit because it seems not a week goes by we don't see the collapsing ratings of the narrative machine. Now, this is true for Fox News as well, but Fox News is still hitting several 100,000 in the key demo. I'm going to say this first and foremost, my friends. I don't rightly care right now about the 70-plus demographic. I just don't. They largely watch cable TV news to the millions. They're not really watching shows like this. I'm not saying I have no respect for the older generation. I'm saying I don't care to pander to 70-plus-year-olds who live in a world of cable TV news, and that's all they're watching. And I don't think that it's relevant to the shape of this country, nor do I think anybody who is working politically should be factoring that in to their future plans. That is to say, MSNBC is not able to muster up any kind of legitimacy right now. The best they can do is 700,000 70-year-olds. The one age group that hates Donald Trump. Now, Fox News seems to be doing somewhat all right. Their clips on YouTube do fairly well, and Jesse Waters gets about 500,000. Well, I think the latest ratings are 300,000. It's political off season, so everybody goes down a little bit. But this is why they're looking for the liberal Joe Rogan. Let's start from the beginning. MSNBC revamped their lineup, hoping to bring in some new ratings. And they brought in some nobodies, people without merit, talent, insight, capability, and their ratings are done. Now, I know I've said this before. Democrat media machine, cable news is dead. And that's why I said, we can do this every single week, to be honest. But here's the point I want to get to with this segment. Right now, these news outlets are talking about how MSNBC's ratings couldn't crack 1 million. And that is specifically in 70-plus demographics, the 70-plus demographic. Fox News does 3.5 million in the 70-plus. And I call it the 70-plus because it's the average, all viewers. But they're only doing a couple 100,000 in the key demo. What does that mean? My friends, Fox News even can't sustain this budget, spending this much money if they're not getting enough views. Now, 300,000 ain't so bad. But right now, let's take a look at the numbers. MSNBC getting 700,000 views. Sure, they can sell some products because they're getting 700K views. That's not bad. They can sell ad rates for maybe $8,000 or $9,000 on their cable network, and they could maybe pull in 80K per hour. Seriously, just in 1 hour. But is that going to cover the exorbitant salaries they're paying these staff? What's going to happen is they're going to drop down the salaries of these individuals. Likely the reason why they're doing this revamping, they can't afford it anymore. But the big picture, we don't have to even wait 10 years. What's going to happen is a cascade failure. Right now, for cable TV networks, they're largely selling ads to old people. Pharmaceutical ads, reverse mortgages, for real. I watch them, and that's largely what they do. This means that they are sustained primarily by services to the elderly who are going to start dying off. They already are, but, this is going to happen. The boomers are going to die. We don't need to wait for every boomer to die. It might only be around 10 or 20% when they can no longer sustain the infrastructure of their studios based on how many viewers they're getting. Let's actually read the story here from the Daily Mail, and I'll give you some context. Viewers are fleeing MSNBC just weeks after the liberal network debuted a new primetime lineup in a bid to salvage tumbling viewership. Yeah, that backfired. So far this month, MSNBC dropped 41% in the primetime demo and 34% in the total day demo compared to May of 2024. In a stinging blow for Jen Psaki, who on May 5th took over for Rachel Maddow during the 9 p.m. time slot. Maddow, who's been the top host on the network for years, previously said she had faith that Joe Biden's former press secretary would do even better than her in the role. She's not, by the way. Maddow temporarily returned as the 5-night-a-week primetime host to cover President Donald Trump's first 100 days, but has since retreated to anchoring only Mondays. The latest ratings for the briefing with Jen Psaki came on May 22nd, when it failed to crack the coveted 1 million viewer mark. Sean Hannity's show on Fox News, which also airs at 9 p.m., had 2.3 million total viewers that night. I don't care. Those are fake numbers. Let's talk about the actual core base of this nation's workforce. Psaki's show performed dismally in the 25 to 54 key age demo. Only pulling in 55,000 viewers in that category. By comparison, Hannity had 210,000 viewers in that demo. It's all done. It's all garbage. I am sick of it. It's over. You know what, man? There will be likely more viewers in the key demo on this video than these cable TV channels can muster up. Now, to be fair, we're in a political offseason, so my segments, I think we're averaging like 150, whereas, this is how it goes. Midterm year, you get a decent boost of views, like the viewership goes up. Then you have primary year, presidential primary year, starts to go up. Then you have presidential election year, which is chaos. There's the 1 year in the cycle. This year, they're not so good. Views aren't so great. So naturally, views are down. But let me just stress, my friends. I believe we don't have the complete ratings from last night's Timcast IRL because it's not even been 12 hours. Well, it's been, I think, literally 12 hours. But the night before, I think we're looking at 650 to 700,000, which puts us at around 550 to 600 in the key demo, not including segments. When we factor in all of the ancillary posts, we do maybe, I think we're doing right now maybe like 2 to 3 million views total for the content produced off one episode. But for the full episode itself, 2-hour-long show, technically it's a 3-hour-long show on Rumble, we're looking at around 650, 700 for just the episode 2 nights ago. A week before that, some of the episodes were doing 700 or 800. And after a few weeks, we hit that number. I am proud to say that. And call it humble bragging, call it gloating, whatever you want. What I am sick of is this world that we live in where the opinions of people no one listens to are treated as breaking news. I sat down with Bill Maher last week. It's come up quite a bit because his conversation's fresh. But I mentioned there's never going to be another Bill Maher. He's had a political talk show since 1993. And I called it, well, that was politically incorrect. And then he started Real Time, I think in like 2000 or something, or 97. And I'm like, this guy's been doing political media for over 30 years. The show is the most consequential politically. It's not necessarily getting the same views as it once got, fair, but it's been on for a long time. My point was, if Bill Maher gives an opinion, they write it up like headline news. And they did. Actually, let me see if I can pull this one up. It's funny. Here we go. Daily Mail did this one. And you can look at any of the big media tracking websites. Daily Mail says, Bill Maher slams liberals, unloads on liberals over relentless support of Hamas. Are you effing kidding me? Funny. This is literally a clip from the episode I was on. This is my point. And I don't mean to disrespect Bill. That's not what I'm saying. Bill Maher, Megyn Kelly, and Joe Rogan, they say things and their opinions are headline news. It's fascinating, right? Joe Rogan gets the views. Megyn Kelly does pretty well. And Bill Maher does okay. There are much bigger shows. Steven Crowder, of course, being the biggest live stream in the country as of now on average. That's crazy, right? And my point is, the corporate press doesn't write about Steven Crowder's opinions. We are never going to have these kind of personalities again where people just want to know what they think, or there is this view that what they say is law, that what they say is authoritative. Rachel Maddow maybe had that. She's not pulling in the numbers. She doesn't want to do the job anymore. So they bring in Jen Psaki. Nobody cares what she has to say. Nobody cares what I have to say. And I mean that somewhat, not necessarily literally. I'm saying that obviously you guys care, the viewers we have care, but the press institutions do not view any of the new shows and young people as having any merit or authority in this space. This is the big picture. The narrative machine is dead. They keep talking about this, right? CBS finished first overall with an average audience of 3.517 million views. Wow. Are you going to show me how many you had in the key demo? Because if it's comparable to anyone else, it's probably 100,000. This is the curse that we have dealt with as millennials. And don't get me wrong, millennials are entitled and lazy too. Gen Z. Millennials are stunted. They act like children. Gen Z can't buy houses, act like children. And it's because the older generation views themselves with the utmost of ego. I am not saying every single boomer. It is funny that when I bring this up, I get the not all boomers. I'm like, bro, I am not talking about literally every single person. I'm not saying everyone's guilty of all this. I am saying that when you zoom out on our culture, what do you see? Every level, from politics to media to sports, look up at older generations as though they are the experts, and millennials do not step up, and Gen Z does not step up. Gen Z doesn't own property. Millennials don't own property. And they blame the boomers and all that. Whatever the issue is, you can look at our political class, octogenarians. You can look at property owners, septuagenarians. You can take a look at media, like whose opinion matters in media. The 70-year-olds, the 60-year-olds. Bill Maher's 69 years old. Joe Rogan's in his 50s. That's actually fine. I don't know how old Megyn Kelly is. Is she in her 50s? Megyn Kelly is 54. And I think that's largely okay. What are that Gen Xers? That's good. That's good. Bill Maher 70, but I mean it when it's these people. They give their opinions. Tucker Carlson was there for a minute. Now not so much. My point is largely this: the narrative machine is dead. It is dying. It has been dying for some time. But for whatever reason, the institutions in this country only view them as the experts. Now, don't get me wrong. Some Gen Z people have built prominence. There are millennials who have built prominence. Obviously, I have a large show. Steven Crowder has a large show. My point is, this country largely looks up to older people as if they're the ones who know best. Instead of being arrogant little pricks who say, we're smarter than you, you did wrong, we're taking over. It's true in politics and media especially. Now, to the main point, as I wrap this up, MSNBC is dead. Fox News is even dying. They talk about the millions of viewers they're getting, but we don't need to wait 10 years for boomers to be 82 years old to see them start dying off, and then these networks are going to collapse well before then. And I'm surprised they still exist at this point. I'd be willing to bet that the salaries they're giving to these hosts is probably like a couple $100,000. Still really good. Just not the $30 or $40 million they were getting before, the previous hosts. How this will affect the landscape, I don't know. Because Bill Maher, like I said, is 70 years old. He's not going to be doing this forever. And even today, he's late on the intake. When it comes to the news, he's behind by a week or two because he still consumes news in an old-fashioned way. At some point, there is going to be a hard reckoning financially and politically in this country because you can't just keep pretending like these archaic institutions have authority. And we're already watching it happen now. My point, they don't get any views among the working class, among the working base of this country. 70,000 views. Yo, I can film a video of me doing the chicken dance and get way more views than that. Yet, everyone talks and acts like they matter. Course correction is going to be swift. I'll wrap it up there. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned. We got more coming up for you, and we'll see you all in a little bit.